She didn't know why she was crying that night. Her marriage had just ended. The apartment felt too quiet. And then her dog, Milo, who'd been asleep in the corner, walked over, sat beside her, and started licking her hands. She hadn't called him over. She hadn't made a sound. He just knew. That moment changed how she thought about her dog forever. And it made her ask a question most of us have never really stopped to answer. What is my dog actually trying to tell me when he does that? Part 1. It's not always what you think. Here's where most people get it wrong. We're taught from childhood that a dog licking you means they love you. And yes, sometimes that's true, but that's like saying every time someone touches your arm, it means the same thing. Context matters. Timing matters. Where they lick you matters. A dog licking your face the moment you wake up is a completely different message than a dog licking your hands after you've been crying. And once you learn to read the difference, you'll never look at your dog the same way again. Let's start from the beginning. Part 2. The science. The simple version. Dogs don't have language. They have behavior. Every lick, every nudge, every whine, these aren't random. They're communication. Researchers who study canine cognition describe dogs as extraordinarily tuned to human emotional and physiological states. They pick up on our cortisol levels, yes, the stress hormone, through scent. They read micro expressions on our faces that we don't even notice in ourselves. So when your dog licks you, it's rarely an accident. It's a response to something they've already picked up about you. Part 3. The real meanings. In context, not a list. The morning greeting. Lick, you open your eyes. Your dog is already there. Tongue out, full body wiggle, licking your face like you've been gone for a century. You are asleep 4 feet away. This is pure excitement and bonding. Puppies in the wild would lick the muzzle of returning pack members as a greeting ritual. Your dog is doing the same thing, greeting you like you matter, every single morning, without fail. There's something quietly beautiful about that when you really sit with it. The crying lick back to the woman with Milo. Dogs can detect changes in your skin's saltiness and scent when you cry. But it goes beyond that. They're also responding to your posture, your breathing patterns, the change in your energy. When a dog licks you while you're upset, they're not trying to fix you. They're doing something much more honest than that. They're staying. The licking is physical contact. It says, I'm here. I'm not leaving. Studies on human-dog interaction show that this kind of contact actually lowers cortisol in both the human and the dog. They regulate with you. You co-regulate with them. They're not performing comfort. They're feeling it alongside you. The obsessive lick, the one to watch. Now here's where it gets important. If your dog licks the same spot on their own body, a paw, a leg, a patch of skin, over and over again, that's a different conversation entirely. That's not affection. That's often anxiety, pain, or irritation. Dogs self-soothe through repetitive behaviors. Excessive licking of one spot can be a sign of a skin condition, joint pain, or, and this is underdiagnosed, chronic stress. If you notice this, it's worth a conversation with your vet. Your dog can't say something hurts here, but they can show you if you're paying attention. The please notice me, lick you're working at your desk. You haven't moved in 2 hours. And then a cold nose on your leg, followed by a slow, deliberate lick on your hand. This isn't random. This is your dog saying, hey, I see that you've disappeared into something, but I'm still here, and I'd like you to come back. Dogs are deeply social animals. They can tolerate being near you without interacting, but they have a threshold. That lick, it's a gentle nudge back into connection. Most people pet their dog absently and go back to work. But what if you put the laptop down for 2 minutes? The food lick. It's actually an instinct. Here's one that surprises people. When dogs lick your face right after you've eaten, even if you can't smell anything on yourself, they often can. Dogs' noses are between 10,000 and 100,000 times more sensitive than ours. They're picking up trace scents of your meal, but there's something deeper here from their evolutionary history. Puppies in wild canid populations would lick the muzzle of adult dogs returning from a hunt. This would trigger the adult to regurgitate partially digested food for the pup. It's an ancient feeding ritual. Your dog isn't going to get anything from licking your face after dinner, but the impulse is millions of years old. Sometimes our dogs are more ancient than we realize. The "you're just salty" lick. Sometimes there's no emotional story. You've been outside, you're sweaty, and your dog finds you absolutely delicious. Dogs are attracted to the salt in human sweat. They're also attracted to lotions, sunscreen, and certain skincare products. If your dog goes straight for your legs after a workout, they're not having a moment. They're just snacking. Funny, but also slightly humbling. The lick that signals submission or respect. In pack dynamics, a lower ranking dog will lick the muzzle of a higher ranking one as a sign of deference and respect. This behavior carries over into dogs' relationships with humans. If your dog licks you and then immediately rolls over or looks away, they're not being weird. They're showing you that they trust the dynamic between you, that they feel safe with your leadership. It's one of the quietest forms of trust a dog can offer. The stress lick. Yours, not just theirs. This one is fascinating. There's a growing body of research showing that dogs will lick their owners more during periods of owner stress, even when the owner is trying to hide it. You might feel composed, but your dog has already read your elevated heart rate, your changed scent, the tension in how you're sitting. The licking is an attempt at regulation, something like what a friend does when they put a hand on your shoulder during a hard conversation. They're not sure what's wrong, but they know something is, and they're not okay just sitting there doing nothing. The bedtime lick, the soft, slow lick right before they settle in for the night. This is grooming behavior, rooted in the way wolves and dogs groom each other to reinforce social bonds. It's intimate, intentional. If your dog does this to you at night, you're not just their owner. In their mind, you're their family. Here's the thing that woman with Milo realized that night. Her dog didn't lick her because he was trained to. He wasn't looking for a treat. He didn't want anything from her. He was just paying attention in a way that was more honest than most humans manage. We spend so much time wondering if our dogs truly understand us. But maybe that's the wrong question. Maybe the better question is, are we paying as much attention to them as they are to us? Because every lick has a story. Every nudge has a reason. They're not a mystery. They've been talking to us the whole time. We just needed to learn how to listen. What does your dog do that you've always wondered about? Drop it in the comments. You might just get your answer.